So let's launch into our topics today, and let's start with, what are tokens? Okay, there are a lot of different definitions for what is a token versus a coin, and what do tokens do, and they can be rather confusing. And in fact, if you have non-fungible tokens, I was even more confused at that. The computer world tends to want to use confusing terms or use their own language to describe various things that are happening in the IT world. But this time they kind of stole a term called non-fungible from the finance world. So there's this full range of tokens that do different things. So a token is just another word for cryptocurrency or crypto asset. Okay, now that's an odd definition. To me it is anyway, because that is basically saying that a token is Bitcoin. A token is Ethereum. Well, actually that's true, because a token really isn't any different whether it's a token on the Bitcoin network that says that you have an item of value and this is how much value that you have that you've purchased on the Bitcoin network, versus having an item of value that is representative of work you've done if it's a corporate blockchain. But increasingly, it has taken on a couple more specific meanings depending on the context. And there's the key issue right there, is that tokens mean different things depending on the different context that you're talking about them. Context is the clue for what a token really means. So you hear tokens bandied about a lot in cryptocurrency. You hear it bandied about a lot when you talk about blockchains for business too, because tokens allow many things to happen. So let's scroll down here and ask, why are tokens important? Okay, tokens are important is because they really are the core of what does all the work on a blockchain. They, in the world of distributed or decentralized finance, when we're talking about lending or savings or insurance or trading various items, the tokens can represent the value of your loan or the value of the insurance contract, or it might even actually represent the insurance contract. That token might carry the information that comes from a smart contract. In other words, the tokens are really the very core of everything about blockchain and cryptocurrencies. So in the decentralized finance world, you literally buy tokens on the network when you're starting to obtain a loan. And then the loan comes to you and you barter and sign up on contracts. You pay for a certain contract with insurance, and various legal things are happening, but the tokens represent all those legal happenings that are taking place on the decentralized finance side. Okay, now there's governance tokens also. Governance tokens literally allow you to vote on whether an upgrade should be made to the blockchain. The governance tokens might also, in a business context, be what allows the core business in the blockchain to pay for developing in particular areas. And then once we've got governance tokens that allow you to vote, we got governance tokens that manage protocols, and all of these things, they use the example of comp, allows you to vote on the upgrades, for example. So it actually governs the whole blockchain in that respect. So then you have these goofy things called non-fungible tokens. And I say goofy simply because it's gone and created a whole different world. And I'm going to show you what that world looks like. There's a legitimate side for NFTs, but there's also a really goofy side of NFTs also. So NFTs being non-fungible, in other words, the word non-fungible means it is not exchangeable for a like item. In other words, a Bitcoin can be exchanged for a Bitcoin, or I can give you $1 and you can give me another $1 and they're exchangeable. I can go buy the same stuff with the dollar you gave me as the dollar I gave you. In other words, those are fungible, meaning that they're exchangeable. But non-fungible tokens mean that you're unique on the blockchain. Okay. And this uniqueness creates this whole different area of things you can do with tokens that are unique and interesting. And we'll talk about them in depth in the next article. Then you have security tokens. Now, we're familiar pretty much with security tokens, especially if you've been in IT for any length of time. They're called accounts. You know, when somebody signs up for something on a blockchain, the token represents your security settings. In a regular database, you have a data table that's taking care of what places you can see and visit and roam around in the database. It's just that in blockchain land, you've got tokens that have all this information. Okay? So tokens do things. And if there's any one big takeaway from this discussion about tokens, is that really tokens are the core of how a blockchain functions. Whether it's Bitcoin and you're talking about a cryptocurrency and the token represents a currency, or you're talking about a blockchain for business and the token represents the security in that blockchain or the payment for services rendered to the blockchain, or in the case of comp, it's the voting mechanism that you can have when you actually join the particular blockchain. So I hope this has helped. Remember, if you haven't done it already, hit the subscribe button and help me grow the channel. And now I'll go ahead and move on to my next topic. Thank you.